나랑 어울리고 싶으면 라이터는 챙기고 다녀 시계.
Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekamac, this is Limbus Company. We are finished with at least the main canto of Season 7. I just barely managed to make 20 past level today, so yeah, let's get everything.
지금을 쪼개어 1천, 편린들에게 주어진 미래를 쪼개어 다시 2천. 마침내 만들어진 넌 깨어지겠어. 기억고 일순, 모든 걸 끌어모아 삼천대천.
뚝딱거리는 시계도 있고 부릉부릉하는 버스도 있고 근사한 친구들도 잔뜩 만들었네? 다행이야. 내가 사라져도 엄마 혼자 남지 않아서.
내게 이 말을 맡겼다는 건 그만한 각오가 되어 있다는 뜻이겠군. 좋아, 내 놈들에게 보여주지. 진정한 단축의 예술을. 3번 베어낸다. 과거를 1000번 단조하며 베어내고 미래에서 1000번 거슬러 찢어내고 찰나의 일순 다시 1000번을 끊어. 산젠 다이세카이.
Alright, so we actually got a lot. 150 red crates, 540 yellow crates, 800 lunacy, 25 tickets, 13 experience tickets, 2 ego, 2 announcers, the fixed extraction ticket. Yeah, just a whole bunch of stuff. And the banner. Can't forget that banner. So, what can we get out of this box? Not exactly what we were hoping for, but it's still numbers. So, Season 3 extraction ticket. We have a 1 in 4 chance of getting something we already have. We should be able to extract everything for story purposes. Two yellows, that's interesting.
찾았군. 도망치지 마시게나. 지령이 당신에게 향하고 있으니.
지령의 뜻에 호기심을 가질 수는 있습니다. 하지만 의문과는 별개로 지령은 집행되어야만 하죠. 절대적이니 수행할 뿐.
That was obscenely lucky. We got both index IDs. But before we go, I want to just have a tiny look at Apprentice Ishmael here. 3 plus 4. If target has 6 plus burn plus speed, coin power plus 1. Heal 5 SP. Deal 5 blunt damage. If this unit has middle-styled augmentation tattoos, inflict bleed count. Max stack of 10, huh? I think that must be the equivalent of Sinclair's book. 4 plus 4. If target 6 plus burn plus bleed, coin power plus 1. This skill gains offense level by highest resonance divided by 2 to a maximum of 3 and rounded down. Alright, so 6 resonance will give her full power. If there is an absolute resonance in the resonance chain, double the amount gained from the effect. Gain 5 aggro. If this unit has thermal blades, on hit with first and second coins, inflict burn by the amount of bleed this skill inflicts. Inflict bleed count, deal 5 blunt bonus damage. If this unit has middle-styled augmentation tattoos, inflict 1 paralyze. Bind and paralyze twice per turn. Alright, gotcha. Violet Breaking Slam. If target 6 plus burn plus bleed, coin power plus 1. So it rolls 6, 12, 16, or 20. She doesn't feel like she rolls as ridiculously high as the others, but we aren't taking into account her bonuses. If there was an absolute resonance, double the amount of offense level gained, maximum of 3, highest resonance divided by 2. Got it. If this unit has thermal blades, on hit with first, second, and fourth coin, inflict burn by the base amount of bleed the skill inflicts. Final power for every middle grudge on self. Consume all middle grudge on self. If activated as a counter, gain blunt damage up next turn. Inflict bleed, bleed count, and bleed. Alright. Defense. I'll get you back for this, man. 6 plus sum of envy and absolute resonance. Use violet breaking slam as counter. Leftmost slot twice per turn. Gain 25% of missing HP as shield once per turn. It's never going to be well, I suppose because she has very high defense and HP, she probably can take that sort of hit. Blunt resistance, pierce fatal. This unit is considered as inflicting burn and bleed. During thermal blades, skills that inflict bleed are also considered to inflict burn. 2 stacks maximum. If target is hit by base skills and has burn, heal SP. Inflict burn when inflicting bleed with certain skills. Lose a stack at turn end. At 3, envy owned. Inflict vengeance mark to the enemy that dealt the most skill damage to an ally. Every time hit by an enemy, gain 2 middle the grudge. When a different middle faction ally is hit by an enemy, gain 1, once per turn per identity. If the unit that attacked this unit or an ally has a vengeance mark, gain +1 grudge. Alright. If the dashboard has an envy absolute resonance, double the amount of middle grudge earned this turn. Gain 1 middle style augmentation every time we consume middle the grudge, twice per turn. Hang on, where did this come into it? Consume all middle grudge on self. We can have up to 15. So if you manage to get maxed out grudge, you're still not getting all of it when you do that. If this unit does not have thermal blades, at 3 plus envy resonance gain 2 thermal blades. If this unit has thermal blades, gain envy divided by 3 thermal blades at turn end. Okay, I guess it sort of juggles itself. It's one of those things where you'll have to play to understand. 3 times envy resonance. Clash 1 power +1 for 1 deployed identity base attack skill. If the dashboard has envy absolute resonance, the number 1 identity deals extra damage with base skills. Gotcha. It's all a bit of a complicated mess, isn't it? And she has the standard sanity mechanics. Alright, well, with that out of the way, let's look at our new identities. And maybe the new VOV. See, the thing is, you're only going to get inflict burn should you already have some sinking count on the target. And then you count down the burn anyhow. I'm pretty sure I already looked at this sort of stuff anyhow. We actually want to look at what we've got with the new Faust. Intellect's Personalite Paper Slip. 3 plus 3. It rolls a 9. 2 poise count. Gain 3 poise, gain 1 poise. So it is a very unstable poise ID here. Final power, gain poise, inflict sinking twice. Final power for every grace of the prescript, gain shield equal to 10% of a max HP. Reduce shield gain by 1% for every 5 karmic consequence. At 50 plus, don't gain shield. Oh well, we just dive headfirst into this. So, Uptie 2. Gain coin power at 6 poise on self plus sinking on target. Gain coin power at 6 plus poise on self plus sinking on target. 4 plus 3, 13. But it becomes a 16 should you trigger the thing. You also get clash power. 1 sloth, 1 pride, 1 gloom. Deal extra damage with skills marked with grace with the mark of the prescript. At 9 grace of the prescript, deal 20% instead. On hit with a base skill against targets with the prescript target, gain poise and inflict sinking. For every 3 grace of the prescript, increase the max by 1. So you can have up to 3 poise and sinking, but only once per turn. At 9, inflict 1 more sinking potency and gain 1 more poise potency. It feels extremely clunky to me. I've got to be honest. Speed goes from 3 to 6 to 3 to 7. As the prescript commands, you will be eliminated. 3 plus 4, 12, 15. Coin power plus 1, 18. Convert all skills to unbreakable when we're at 6 plus grace of the prescript, and gain 3 poise count. So it breaks slightly even at max poise. On crit, inflict sinking count after sinking, so that's not the worst. 3 plus 4, unerringly as the prescript demands. If marked with the mark of the prescript, deal extra damage. And gain coin power plus 1. 11 becomes 13 with the conditional. Plus 4, so it rolls 16. Plus 3 with the conditional, that's 19. And then rolls a 20, should you also have the mark of the prescript. Actually, did this gain? No, it doesn't gain clash bonus. And yeah, 3 poise, 1 poise count. And the support passive. Prioritize index IDs. If this unit's leftmost skill and other allies target the same enemy slot, deal extra damage for every ally targeting the same slot excluding the unit. 15% applies when this unit and allies both use base attack skills to main target enemy slot. Alright, let's see the Uptie Story.
새로운 지령입니다. 목에 칼날을 들이대었을 때 저항하는 뒷골목 거주자 7을 참아라. 당신들의 숫자와 같군요. 그럼 수행하겠습니다.
To Faust. Consume your vocal cords, boiled for 14 seconds in simmering salt water as part of your dinner time meal. Will you be alright? It is the will of the prescript. I merely ensure it is fulfilled. There seem to be more prescripts of this sort lately. Last time a proselyte received a prescript telling them to grill their own head medium rare. and serve it to their neighbour. Does that not make you scared? The prescripts know all. And consequently, Faust, who submits to the prescript, is equivalent to knowing it all. As such, there can be no place for fear. To Faust. Access the Gacelus shaft and convert 3 unknown happenings into known things. Once again, they refuse to engage me, saying there is nothing to discuss with a blindfolded Faust. And yet, their inability to lower my access rate or revoke it completely must due to the fact I am a Faust who follows the prescript. So be it. So long as information remains available, the prescript's execution will proceed unhindered. The index's fabric is woven by looms. Fabrics are, obviously, made by machines such as looms. If such mundane knowledge was recorded, then it is highly possible that the looms mentioned must conceal an alternate meaning. But just in case, I will set aside this particular piece of information and select another 3. To Faust. Within 1 week, rendezvous with other proselytes at the intersection at Block B and walk the streets. Postscript. Walk by following the proselyte who arrives last. The texture of the slip is different. It was given to me by a messenger of another district. Wait, the prescript you received yesterday, didn't it tell you to eat your... It is rather outdated to think that one cannot vocalize without vocal cords. Apologies. That wasn't meant as a demand for apology, but very well. I think I now understand how to carry out this prescript. Really? But it seemed quite cryptic. How do you plan to execute it? I'll tell you when we meet again. To Faust. Climb to the rooftop of a building 3 stories or higher and wave your hand while looking down for 1 minute. A simple enough prescript, and that is? I received a prescript telling me to deliver extra fabric to you. It has been a while since I last received more fabric for patching. Congratulations, if you receive it just 1 more, you might be able to lengthen your cloak. Perhaps. By the way, how did you carry out the prescript from last time? You said you'd tell me when we met again. For an entire week, I kept walking around the intersection at Block B. I walked in a wide loop with neither start nor finish. In that way, I was able to fulfill the prescript even when new proselytes joined the group. The way you're progressing, the prescript may grant you a sword of your own rather than a mere fabric. If that is where the prescript leads me. Got prescript? Not much time. Need tailoring? Give fabric. The tailor has arrived. I must take my leave. To Faust. Enter as the 3rd customer of the day to a restaurant that sells chickens, and leave last. Start a game of hide and seek with at least 3 people, then return home as the It. Read 6 books, then visit the district that appears in the last book read. No time limit. This means... To Faust. Kill the liar within the alley within alleys. It seems you haven't followed the prescript for quite some time. There is no other explanation as to why a messenger's long cloak could be sliced through with such ease. Ugh. The different texture of the paper slip, the instructions that have become too intuitive, the unlimited deadline, as though someone allowed me some room for flexibility. It all seemed too convenient to be true. It wasn't hard to deduce the liar's identity. Wait! With this, I will be able to kill the liar. I was only undertaking the prescript myself. I was told to make false prescripts and distribute them to the proselytes. Here, look! Interesting. That, however, doesn't seem to be the direction to which the prescript intended to lead you. What? I mean to say that not following the prescript could have been a way to serve its will. But that makes no sense, that's not... A warning, perhaps, that one must not be so easily swayed by what is visible. Well, let's be fair, they probably didn't want to have too much in the way of important story beats in the first ID released. Okay, if we uptie again. Gain clash power when hitting people with the mark of the prescript, and gain 2 coin power bonus instead of 1. And on crit inflict sinking. If hit marked with mark of the prescript, final power +1, coin power +1 for every 6 poise to a max of 2. Gain 2 poise count instead of 1. Or maybe just... It still isn't an even number, but I guess they expect Faust to be able to use Thoracalgia. On crit, inflict sinking count. A little better, but still not great. As the prescript demands, you will be eliminated. Base power +1. Final power +1 for hitting people with mark of the prescript. Oh, it's also final power +1 for the skill 2. Coin power +1 for every 6 poison on self and single on target. Become unbreakable coins and deal extra damage. Gain 3 poise count, gain poise equal to Grace of the Prescript, rounded down. Grace of the Prescript deals 60% damage instead. On crit, inflict 3 sinking count. Almost breaks even, but not quite. Counter skill +3. Final power for every Grace of the Prescript. Gain shield equal to 15% of max HP, and reduce an increased amount for every 5 karmic consequence. Alright, I don't have anything better to spend this Uptie stuff on, do I? Unerringly as prescript demands. Undertake the prescript yet again, undertake. As the prescript demands, you will be eliminated, prescript granted, prescript woven fabric. Alright, and now we get the crazy one. Index proxy, efflorescent ego procuration. So, blunt slash... I was wondering for a while, wait, how does this interact with the slash and blunt tier 4 gifts? It's actually there in the description. Let's quickly jump into the Mirror Dungeon tab to show that. Ego Gift Compendium. I wish there was an easier way to sort these. Tier 4, Tier 4, Tier 4, Burn, Tremor, Sinking, blah blah blah. Okay. Slash attack skills gain base power, plus coin power, minus coin power. Okay, that's not the one I was looking for. Crush Mirror, Puncture Memory, etc. Here we go. Except for empowered skills or skills that need unique conditionals. So I don't think it'll trigger the Zwei Greatsword. Anyway, back to business. Index proxy proscript 3 + 3. 4 + 3, so we gain 1 base power for upgrading to our ego state, but lose 3 SP for using the skill. 4 + 3, gain clash power if it's a mark of the prescript, gain 3 poise and a poise count. It's not quite stable, unfortunately. So the trick with one of the best backup passives for poise is Blade Lineage Yi Seng, because there's actually this thing, it says the thing is, whenever you gain poise, you also gain poise count, so it does help with low skill counts. Gain 3 poise, gain a poise count. We don't know what the tier 3s are. Final power for every unlocked stage. Gain shield equal to a max of 10% of HP. Gain 2 poise count. Gain a poise, gain a sinking. If this unit doesn't have unlock, gain it. Change Grace of the Prescript to 3. Gain 5 karmic consequence for every Grace of the Prescript gained this way, presumably. Clashable counter, so it goes from standard to clashable. Gain 3 poise. Oh, it's poise instead of poise count. Oh dear. If this unit has unlock, increase it by 1 stage. If Grace of the Prescript is too low, change the stacks. Gain karmic consequence for every Grace of the Prescript gained. Inflict sinking, inflict sinking. She actually gets better poise out of her skill 1, doesn't she? Gain Prescript device, device 2, device 3, device 4 based on unlock stage. Gain this effect if target has unlock. At unlock 2, heal 10 SP at turn end. Wow. All effects in prescript execution checks do not trigger when staggered. At unlock 3, gain Shin. 2 max speed, 2 min speed, offense and defense level. Gain poise, more poise count from base skills. Okay, that's going to help a lot. If prescript was executed, heal 4 SP, gain Grace the Prescript. Gain 3 if we hit if the main target is the prescript's target. If prescript was not... Use a skill or hit a target with a marked skill. So theoretically you should actually be able to do this, it's just you do it faster if you're hitting the main target. Okay, at turn end, gain all these things. Before consuming SP... Oh wait, if this unit has unlock 1, enter effloresced ego state. But heal to 25 SP and gain karmic consequence equal to SP healed divided by 5. So if you aren't at high SP and you enter unlock 1, then that kicks in. At the turn after the above checks, if unlock is at 25 SP, consume 15 SP. If this unit gets staggered, recover from stagger if it can be. Gain faith beyond question. Min and max speed plus 1. Offense and defense level plus 2. Gain more poise potency. SP does not drop below negative 15 from his attack skills. At 0 or less SP, exit. Procuration state. Okay, Uptie. 2 to 5 to 2 to 6. I'm guessing she's going to have very low base speed because she's going to be picking up a lot of min speed boosts from her abilities. Skull Crushing. Gain coin power and poise count. So that means this skill actually breaks even when you make it to her ego state. At 6 plus poise on self and singing on target gain coin power, but we don't get poise count here. 1 poise count, 2 poise count, maybe 3 poise count between it all, I can't be sure. Enhanced skill 2, gain 2 poise count. Enhanced skill 3. Doesn't change anything to the poise, it just gives us a boost to coin power, conditional, and it gives us a bit of extra sinking. Combat passives. Deal 2% with skills mark of the prescript for every grace of the prescript. At 9, deal 20% instead. On hits against the targets with prescript target, heal 3 SP once per skill, twice per turn. Heal additional SP based on unlock stage. I don't know how much, but I guess it doesn't matter too much. Alright, raise to 3 to 6. So raising the min speed there. The prescript must be fulfilled at none. When hitting someone that's marked with the prescript, deal 20% damage on crit. Final power plus 1 for every poise and sinking, to a maximum of 2. At 2 plus unlock, convert all skills to unbreakable. Gain 3 poise count. Which does break even here. Gain 2 poise, deal extra damage for every unlock. Inflict sinking and sinking count. Inflict 1 sinking on crit. Procuration annihilate. If marked with mark of the prescript, deal extra damage. Gain coin power. Gain 3 poise count, which isn't enough to match how much we're spending. Lose 15 SP after attack. Inflict 1, 2, 3 sinking. Inflict a sinking and then a sinking count on crit. Deal extra damage for every unlocked stage. Upgrade the skills. Base power. No, that's coin power boosted. So it rolls in 11. And 13 on conditional. It rolls 4 coin power, so that's 16. 19 if you get the coin power conditional. The clash power gives it a 20. Enhanced skill 1 just raises the coin power. So it actually rolls a 14 with all the conditionals. And here, raise the coin power, that's 12, 17. We don't get the clash power boost on the skill 2, but we have a boost to base power, which is basically as good. At 6 plus poison, self-sinking on target gain a coin power, so that rolls a 20. Potentially. Support passive. 3 Gloom Resonance. Heal 15 SP for the ally with the lowest SP. Prioritize plus coin identities. Maybe we're going to see a minus coin identity in the future. If the affected unit is in the Index faction, gain a damage up as well. Does not apply to units under effects that prevent SP recovery, such as corrosion, panic, etc. Alright, Uptie Story time.
심장에 나전 없는 자가 이곳을 제외하면 마리가 좋아하지 않을 테지. 마법의 삐삐님도 로신한테도 그렇게 생각하지 않는가?
I heard her call it beep beep. Whoever art thou? I was bidden to introduce myself as proxy of the Index, the one who will guide you to an abode of your dwelling. Or perhaps you could call me Yi Sang, should that be to your preference? Hermes, I meant to say the prescript. By the prescript's own implication, extrapolated from its wording, a second kindred you must be. Second kindred? Whatever art thou referring to? And my fellow fixers here have warned me that I mustn't leave the confines of this. There is little cause for you to be so fixated on these so-called fixers and the things they utter. And why is that? Because they do not have the answers. I, on the other hand, can give you the only answers. Only the answers. How is such a thing possible? You endeavour to lull even the beckoning aroma of blood to silence. Thus were I to speak upon a plane within your grasp. You might wish to think of it this way. It is thanks to this device, the great magic beeper. Here, do you see it? It beeps and bleeps. Its beeps and bleeps carry certain words to be displayed. Ooh! Rocinante, verily, I deem this not the right path. I wish to set forth anon and fulfill the task of which my master has laid upon me. And yet, the great magic beeper is still... Ah? This is it? Master, the ciphers, verily, they appear too intricate. Should I by mischance let them slip from my memory, would I then be lost to this place forevermore? Be at ease, for naught here calls for your concern. Once you have carried out the prescript, the great magic beeper will lead you back home. You need only gallop on to where the prescript points, astride the saddle of Rocinante the Faithful. Pray, wouldst thou open this door for me? 'Tis locked, forbidding my passage. 'Tis a grievous hindrance indeed. I would fain step within. Hark, Rocinante! To cast all caution aside and charge forth with reckless abandon, 'tis a thing most unwise. I'm not well versed in this speechcraft of persuasion, but I am already aware of thy presence within. Perchance these lifeless bodies have struck fear into thee? Fear not, friend. Thou not need quake so. These were but unkind souls, most unkind. As I observed upon my way hither, I did notice the researchers here to be kind. They were kind, forsooth, each and all of them. Verily, I am quite fond of those who are kind. I pray thee, open the door. I shall do thee no harm. Has aught gone awry? You look as though you are sunken beneath a heavy gloom. It mirrors the memory of your disappointment a few months ago when you told me that the just and heroic fixer's inked pages failed to take flesh among those you met. Well, the other compatriots of mine at the House of Spiders, they lend not their ears unto my voice. All they do is bully me. They always vexed me. They are always vexed by my stammering tongue and cut me off even though I haven't finished speaking. Don't let yourself be saddened overmuch. They are all fierce of character, with a singular disposition. I meant only to converse with them for a while. Would they but speak as kindly as thou dost, my kind master? I cannot understand why they are so eager to wound me with their sharp words. Wherefore dost thou not answer me? So thou hast resolved to not open this door. Denying it shall profit thee naught. The great magic peeper hath made known to me all thy designs. It cannot be helped. There is one I must needs meet. My master would have it so, and I do wish it as well. 'Tis a fate preordained by the great magic beeper. Thus, thou art in the wrong for denying me entry. Decide. Unlock. Transcend. Hast thou the conviction? The absolute, unbreakable conviction on the definitions of good and evil? Many are those who have come to accept the prescripts. Those who gladly wear the blindfold of faith in service of the prescripts are, indeed, also quite prevalent in the ranks of the Index. Yet, the efflorescence of your ego signifies a conception of a most unusual perspective within you. Your conviction lies beyond the mere acceptance of prescripts, beyond ordinary fatalism. Only when the infinite verisimilitude of one's own imminent yearning and the prescript is attained, that the procuration of one is akin to the procuration of the other. Does the will of the prescript become one's own ego? Then, hath mine efforts finally begun to shine through? Nay, that is not entirely correct, for endeavours to shape one's own cerebration are oft exercises in futility. An apt explanation would be to say that such a state is not something that can be consciously striven toward. Yet I have it! If only blind obsessive faith were the therapy to one's soul, the lives of city dwellers could have improved, if to a nigh indiscernible degree. One cannot blossom an ego merely by believing in or adhering to the delineation of good and evil as defined by the prescript. To quote a certain child, it is possible only when the infinite verisimilitude to one's own imminent yearning and the prescripts are attained. Like a looping echo. The prescripts in the child's consciousness must interlock with the infinitesimal difference. These security walls are useless without emergency defensive systems, huh? She ripped right through it. But as long as I have this ego gear. Thus spake my master. Bring the outfit of the one who walketh the path full of dazzling colours, the path intent on thwarting all attempts to memorize it. 'Tis by great fortune I found it in time. Attunement level at 70%. With this I can... The researcher, who lost all will to fight as soon as he saw the child tear through the security wall, raised his attunement level with the ego. He must have been rather optimistic about his chance of survival and escape, especially with an ego extracted from the wayward child. However, 30 seconds. Ah! The distorted and pulverized vibrations of the city contain more than just the present. In the flutterings of anticipation lies the future, and in the reverberations of regret, the past. Thus, in between the myriad vibrations, are faint frequencies that have escaped the laws of causality, captured then by a god of the city, and written into prescripts in which cause and effects are enmeshed in disarray. It has, it might, it may have actualized. The echoes of fate. Kill all the doors of the ceiling. Thou hast fled above mine head. Effloresced ego, procuration. That ego, which is a proxy of a god of the city, is quite similar to a distortion. A concept perceived as prescripts. Oh, this isn't yet. Effloresced ego, procuration. Just as it was the case with the nurse father of the index, whom the child follows as her master. It is interesting how even the ego that bloomed from her own heart is but an imitation of something else. There are no attachments or sentimentalities when master kills. Prithee, I beg thee understanding that there is no ill will to my killing of thee just the same. Much blood has been spilled on my cloak. His head smashed to unrecognizable mush. The researcher slumps to the floor. The child takes the ego gear off the dead researcher for herself, before looking around helplessly. She has come across a fork in the road. A choice must be made. To sally forth or to retreat? I would much prefer to sally forth, yet... The great magic people hath spoken. I am to sally forth. Hast thou brought to witness it, O Rocinante? Once again, the will of the prescript did align with mine own. So she did get the ego, but why did she get the ego? Because it turns out we didn't need it to crack open that safe. One more uptie. We're just a tiny bit short to get. I don't mind spending uptie shards. So, if marked with the prescript final power +1, deal extra damage. Coin power +1 for every 6 to a maximum of 2, gain 2 poise count. On crit, gain a poise count. Okay. So if you do make it to 20 poise, then that will refund, but... Let's consider the ego version first. Gain final power +1 if marked with the prescript. Coin power +1 for every 6, maximum of 2. Inflict 2 sinking. On hit, inflict a poise count. On crit, inflict a sinking count. 6 + 6. The prescript must be fulfilled anon. Coin power +1 if the skill is marked with the prescript. And deal bonus damage on a crit. Final power +1 for every 4. To a maximum of 4. So you could be rolling a 10 plus 12, that's a 22 at maximum power, that's pretty impressive. At 2+ unlock stage, convert everything to unbreakable, deal extra damage for every unlock stage. Gain 3 poise count and poise equal to the unlock stage. Gain poise, inflict sinking and singing count, on crit inflict another sinking count. And now the augmented versions. Coin power +1 for every poise, and now it's a double number. So it rolls a 12. 5 becomes 14, 6 becomes 16. And it does stabilize its count a bit more with the crits. And remember, the maxed out unlock will be giving her extra poise. Procuration Engrave. just 10% damage for Mark with the Prescript, I guess. Inflict Sinking and Sinking count on crit. Raise the base power for Procuration Annihilate. Coin power +1 for every 6 poise on self and sinking on target to a maximum of 2, but this is a lot more coins than usual. So 6, 6, 17. Make that a 5, it becomes 25. Gain poise count and poise equal to current unlock stage. Lose 15 SP. This coin gains power +1 for every unlock stage, up to 3. Okay. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 28. The downside is that I'm pretty sure that'll delete most of your poise because, I don't know, it feels like you do miss out on a lot of poise count when you upgrade there. Final power +1 for every unlock stage. Gain shield equal to max HP. If not in Unlock 1, gain Unlock 1. Change Grace of the Prescript to 3, gain Karmic Consequences. 4 + 3, final power +1 for every unlock stage. Gain Poise. Below Unlock 3, then you just jump up. Gain Karmic Consequence for every turn start of Grace of the Prescript. And then give us Ujat Utus. We're going to the usual testing grounds. We're not going to learn how these work until we actually try them out in battle. Great. No,
거 없어. 바로 간다.
Damn it. Skim ahead. Huh! Hang on. 13 out of 13. Heavy hit. It is unlikely he will win this clash. It's impossible for him to win this clash. Okay, back to this. Okay, thank you. I actually do want to test these out.
강습 준비 완료.
There's some things you just won't be able to learn without watching.
호위만급 약직 보강 완료.
지시령대로 움직일 뿐입니다.
Hit a target marked with a prescript. 30 of 42.
호위만 구축.
필연적. 절대
Yep, we're pretty low level here, aren't we? She'll live. She won't enjoy it, but she will live.
예측할 수 없게. 정해진 운명이라네. 결정, 해제, 초월. 지령에게 불확실한 것은 없네.
Okay, so ego will end up overriding that. Good to know. Faith beyond question.
예측할 수 없게.
수행되었습니다. 수행되었습니다.
It's so much fun to go back and take the brand new identities into old content.
운명적인 미래를 과거와 같이.
전술 시야 전개. 오제트의 눈으로.
Yiseng's passive should be kicked in now. Unlock 2. Gotcha. Hit a target with an Ego Awakening or Skill 3 in Ego state. Oh, wait, I see.
예측할 수 없게. 달려라 로신한테. 정의는 승리한다. 그 뜻을 해금하겠네.
Yeah, sadly these guys don't quite last long enough for us to really get to stage 3 and see all the cool stuff, but I feel like those are pretty good examples of the animations at least.
이제 다음 시련만 넘어서면 본인 또한 감히 나리의 가족이 될 수 있겠군. 그렇게 된다면 본인은 더 이상 죽을 일도 외로울 일도 없을 테지.
Ooh, poor Faust. So yeah, I guess my next video is going to be on middle Ishmael when I get a chance to get at her.
이곳 인간들은
So until
따분해.
next time guys, take care,
진짜
I'll see you
작품들을
all
보면
around.
눈이 트일 텐데 말이야.
Oh, there's actually a lot of crazy stuff here, isn't there? Dicey Association Yi sang support passive was incorrectly applied. Gain 5 plus shield rank. Oh, gain 5 plus discarded skill rank percent. Gain 5 times discarded skill rank. Oh yeah, that would have been awful. The only thing it would improve is that we're discarding a skill 1. Alright, so either way, until next time guys, take care, I'll see you all around.
단순히 끝냈으니 만찬을 즐길 때가 왔다.
다들 검을 받았는데 본인만 받지 못해 섭섭할 때가 있었네. 물론 지금은 왜 검을 받지 못했는지 알고 있지. 보이는가? 조금 불편하긴 해도 이고가 지령이 정해준 단 하나뿐인 본인의 소중한 검이라네.